This is a big story. Prince Andrew, that's right. Prince Andrew to face court hearing in sexual misconduct case. Things are not looking too great for Prince Andrew. And then after that, we're going to be looking at the January 6th and talking about the 40 arrested Turks. All right, let's continue.
Court day for Prince Andrew, facing sex assault allegations from a woman who says she was trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, a newly unsealed settlement agreement is shedding new light on that claim as the royal family faces growing pressure over the prince. James Longman is at Buckingham Palace. Good morning, James.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. D-Day for Prince Andrew. That's how one newspaper is describing it here. Virginia Roberts-Giuffre says that Prince Andrew had sex with her on multiple occasions after being trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein. Prince Andrew says that never happened. The hearing today will decide whether this case can even...
Dude, he's British, bro. Can't they just simply claim, you know, this is the culture. This is, you know, it's like Prince Andrew has every right as a royal to be able to do pedophilia. It's the culture of the royals. A wee bit of nonsense is totally acceptable. And as a matter of fact, this is as a matter of fact, this is how royals have been able to continue saving the royal bloodline. A wee bit of nonsense. What's next? Are we going to put a ban on jellied eels? I mean, this is our British culture that you're attacking.
Even go forward. This morning, secret court documents revealed in the long-standing civil case between Prince Andrew and his accuser, Virginia Roberts-Giuffre. Andrew's legal team have unsealed the 2009 settlement Giuffre reached with sex predator Jeffrey Epstein. It shows she received $500,000 and that she would not involve parties associated with Epstein, including, quote, royalty, a term referenced in the original lawsuit. Now 38, Giuffre claims she was trafficked for sex by Jeffrey Epstein and accuses Prince Andrew of having sex with her on several occasions and in multiple locations, including New York, starting when she was 17. These are claims he's denied many times.
I've said consistent.
You know that, like, first he's going to say, no, I'm not doing it. And then he's going to be like, well, she was 17, which is technically legal. That's right. It's legal and warranted, as a matter of fact, in my country. All right? I was simply mistaken about the way that the nonsense laws in an uncivilized country like the United States of America. You've seen this infamous video? Bro, not only have I seen the original, I did a video on this. I've watched the JCS react of this. I've seen this video more times than you can imagine, okay? This video also happens to live permanently in my brain. I am physically incapable of sweating. Yes, I cannot perspire as a consequence of being a part of the Queen's Royal Navy in the Falkland Wars. My PTSD-induced lack of sweating proves that I could have not been doing nonsense. That or who could forget him being like, oh, well, I wasn't wearing my pedophilia outfit on that day. Of course, this proves once again that I was not doing nonsense.
And frequently that we never had any sort of sexual contact.
Attorneys for the Duke of York argue those documents should prevent him from being sued and exclude him from further litigation. It's not the only argument the Duke's legal team is using to try and get the case dismissed. They say Giuffre lives in Australia and not the US, where the suit was filed, and they've requested a delay in the evidence Giuffre's...
Wait, what does that have to do with anything? For what? If you get sex trafficked as a minor, if you ever move, GG's, boys. Yeah. It's a little trick that nobody knows about, okay? It's a little secret trick. Yeah, they got it, dude.
Attorney has tried to present. In an interview with the BBC, the Duke of York admitted to having known Epstein through his longtime friend, now convicted sex offender, Ghislaine Maxwell, who he met in 1999.
I'd known her since she was at university in the UK. And it would be, to some extent, a stretch to say that...
Dude, it'd be so cool if they could put one fucking royal in prison. Like, come on, dude. Just give us this. Come on. He's like a shitty one. No one cares. Even the queen's dead anyway. Like, come on. Just give us one fucking royal. It's not like they're going to execute him. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they would have done in the old days. Just fucking chop, chop, you know? They're not even doing that. Just put him in prison. Just a little bit, okay? Just a little crumb of royalty in prison is fire. It's just dope. It's called the Crown Prosecution Service for a reason.
As it were, we were close friends.
The interview was part of an extended one-on-one BBC special where Prince Andrew said he'd stayed in Epstein's New York City property even after Epstein was convicted of sex trafficking. And it was this response to allegations made by Giuffre that made it a now infamous exchange.
She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating.
Scottish police should work with the feds to extradite him for Balmoral. What's the Queen gonna do? Burn the police? What the fuck? You did not write this in the most Scottish way you could. Oh, no. Oh, I love that so much, dude. I love that so much. What's the Queen gonna do? Burn the police? Yes. That's how Scott's type, dude. No fucking cap. No, I know, dude. I know. What's the Queen gonna do? Phone the police.
And that she went on to have bath, possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition.
Let's go! Let's go! This is the best part. Where oh god, this is a masterpiece, dude.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was actually yes, I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at.
Andrew has denied Giuffre's claims, and his attorneys have called her lawsuit baseless, meant to achieve another payday.
Now, it's not clear when the judge will make a decision on this, but I think whatever the outcome, the pressure is just mounting on Andrew. The big question, well, will he ever return to his public duties as a member?
By the way, that was a lie. I don't know if they showed the second part of that, but like, there are photos of him literally fucking sweating. Also, he was sweating throughout the interview, bro. So, like, I don't know why he was like, I've never sweat in my life because of the Falkland Wars that I was a part of. Yes, a peculiar condition, a medical condition, and is, you know, I do not like to admit readily. Like, oh, sorry. He said at the time he couldn't sweat. Sorry. There was a minor period of, there was only a minor period where he couldn't sweat, except, you know, he was sweating at that time. So it's bullshit. Yes, that's right.
Member of the royal family. George.
Okay, James, thanks. Let's bring in our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams. Welcome him back. Also, royal expert Victoria Murphy. Dan, let's start with you. Any serious chance that he can dismiss this case?
Some of these arguments are not frivolous arguments being made by Prince Andrew. It's probably a long shot that he'll be able to get it dismissed at this point. But this fundamental argument as to whether he should be covered by the settlement agreement is actually a really interesting argument, because in her lawsuit, she had said that these were the people who abused her, including, quote, royalty. Then in the settlement agreement, it was supposed to apply to all potential defendants. And Prince Andrew's team is saying, wait a second, she referred to royalty, clearly referring to Prince Andrew there, and that was supposed to be a settlement for all potential defendants. That should cover him. It's a bit of a stretch because he isn't specifically mentioned in this. There's no reference to Prince Andrew. So it's not going to be an easy argument to win, but there are real legal issues to resolve.
It's also a little tricky because if the argument is, wait, I'm the royalty in that case, then he's kind of implicated in the whole case, maybe not legally, but publicly.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, but remember, the legal is very different from the public. His position would be, I'm not conceding that any of this is true. What he's saying is, as a legal matter, if you are arguing that I am responsible here, I am responding by saying, I'll accept that for the purposes of the legal argument and tell you then, therefore, I am covered by the settlement agreement. It hurts him in the court of public opinion. It doesn't really hurt him in the court of law, because lawyers do this all the time, where they say, look, we're not conceding it, but even if it were true, here's our legal argument.
And Victoria, when it comes to the court of public opinion, how much would dismissal even help Prince Andrew at this point?
Well, I think that's very interesting, George. And yes, you have all these legal maneuverings going on, but of course, in the background, you have the court of public opinion. And
I love royal experts, by the way. Just an expertise in the royal family.
Don't forget that it was public opinion and that negative reaction to his BBC TV interview in 2019 about Epstein that ultimately led to him stepping back from his royal role. And that was way before Virginia Giuffre had even filed this particular civil case against him. If his lawyers are able to successfully get this case thrown out, then it will obviously be a legal win, and it will avoid the worst case scenario as far as his reputation goes, which is obviously him being found at fault. That's the worst thing that can happen for his reputation. But what it doesn't do, I think, is completely turn things around for him. For a lot of people, him tackling the allegations themselves head on and successfully doing that is now what is required in order to turn this around completely as far as his reputation goes.
Any sense of what's going on with the royal family right now?
The royal family is, of course, acutely aware of how damaging this is. And we can see that from the fact that they have totally erased him from the public face of the monarchy. They've done everything they can to distance themselves. He hasn't appeared publicly with the royal family at all in the last 2 years, apart from at his own father's funeral. And the fact that he didn't even appear in his own daughter's wedding photograph.
So even the fucking, even the public the royal family has decided, GG's, you know? It's not looking too good for him right about now, is it? But that doesn't mean that they won't, like, defend him. Obviously, they are going to continue defending him. Especially because the royal family routinely does fucked up shit. They are literally fucking monarchs, dude. I mean, if there is one group of individuals that's like automatically a villain, it's the monarchy, okay? There's nothing else. Like, it's like their entire lineage, their entire bloodline, their entire history is riddled with colonialism, colonization, death, slavery, destruction. Like, they're fucking awful. Their entire reputation is just they're the villains. If you look at history, okay? If you look at history and you interpret it from like today's framework, today's understanding, yeah, the monarchs are the bad guys, right? Like, nobody's like, oh man, I can't believe they fucking cut the heads off the lords and monarchs and shit like that. It's just like, that's, you know, we celebrate that as like the tides changing and moving towards a democracy. But in the UK, people are like, no, they're the good guys still. That's extremely racist. What, against the race of British people?
Photographs that were released by the palace, I think tells us everything we need to know about how toxic they perceive his presence to be for them. However, there's only so much they can do, because ultimately he is still the Queen's son, and this is very much for that reason still going to continue.
One of the chatter streamers in here a lot, Ellen, from now on actually Donowald the Queen. Wait, how?
To play out as a royal story.
And finally, Dan, what exactly is going to happen in court today?
This is not going to be an argument about the facts. It's not going to be an argument about...
Who said that? Wait, how? Who the fuck said that? Wait, no, describe how. What the fuck? I was offered an MBE for trans rights work and turned it down. Oh. What's an MBE? An honor from the Queen. Oh no! It was an honor! A knighthood! You turned down a knighthood from the Queen? Member of British Empire? No, that's what they fucking call it? They literally still say, like, oh, now a member of the British Empire. That's fucking bananas, dude. Yo, that is so fucked up. Yo, that's like, that actually is like more fucked up than American shit. That's crazy. What empire, bro? You blew a 13 colony lead, motherfucker. What do you mean empire? Ah!
Whether this is true, this is going to be a very technical legal argument on a number of fronts, where the prince is trying to get the case dismissed, where the plaintiff is saying the case should continue. And this is going to be a critical ruling, because if the case is dismissed at this point, case is over. If the case moves forward, that's terrible news for Prince Andrew on a number of fronts.
Dan Abrams, Victoria Murphy, thanks very much. Hi, everyone. George
Stephanopoulos.